Information you'd like to add about your experience?
It's just, no, I think I summed it up in that last one pretty
Good,
well.
yes, I think so too. Well, thank you so much for taking time to tell us about your project, and enjoy the rest of the showcase.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Howdy, we have come to the faculty interviews. Remember, you can join the conversation on Twitter at TAMU Engineering, #TAMU Showcase. Thank you for taking time to tell us about your project. Please tell us your name and the department you are from.
Sure, my name is Michael Johnson, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Engineering Technology and Industrial Distribution.
Great, and can you describe one of your capstone design projects this year?
Sure, this year we have one project for a local company. It's a very small business called CM Forged Knives, and the gentleman there, Curtis Klingel, makes all the knives himself by hand, but he'd like to expand his business. So what my students did was develop a set of jigs and fixtures to allow unskilled labor to do some of the machining for him.
Wow, okay. And can you, do you think it is, what do you think is the most important value of the capstone design projects to students?
Right, well, it'll allow students to get a realistic and authentic design experience. So they have a problem that doesn't have a ready solution, and it allows them to be creative and come up with those solutions.
What is the educational value to students when industry engages and sponsors a project?
Again, the students get to see real problems, and they get to use their creativity within the constraints of budget, time, and realistic solutions to solve those problems.
Now, what do you think is the benefit to a sponsor?
Well, the sponsors get a chance to see what type of work our students can do, as well as the opportunity to get some outside ideas. So often in an organization, there becomes a certain way of thinking, and our students bring in new ideas and out-of-the-box concepts.
Great. Would you like to add anything to the industry representatives connected to us right now?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you for all of your support and sponsorship of projects, and we hope that they keep turning out as well as they have in the past.
Good. And would you like to add anything else about your experience, both with the project or today at the showcase?
Well, I've just been very impressed with all of the student work, and I hope that, again, the sponsors keep sending us great projects so our students can keep impressing them with their great work.
Great. Well, enjoy the rest of the showcase, and thank you.
Thank you.
We have another student with us today. Please tell us your name, major, and your year.
My name is Michael Steele. I am a civil engineering major, and I'm a senior this year.
Great. So, Michael, tell me about your project.
Our project is a project called Skyline, and so it is essentially a portable dehumidifier, with the idea being that it pulls water out of the humidity of the air and can keep you alive in a survival situation. So the cool thing about our project is that it's an interdisciplinary project. So we have 2 engineers and 1 business person. We're with a new class this is the first semester that they've ever done it, where they pulled different disciplines and had them work together to create a project just with all sorts of different majors.
Great. Are you excited to be displaying your project with your team at the showcase?
Yeah, it's been super cool. I've just been walking around like talking to other teams and seeing their designs and then having them come over and check out ours. And so it's been cool to get feedback from people who maybe have different expertises and they say, oh, maybe this would work and be a better way to do this. And so it's cool to learn, but also to see what everybody else is doing as well.
Great. What type of skills did you learn in your project that you consider of value to your professional engineering career?
Some of the biggest things that we've learned is, like I said, we are like interdisciplinary, and so you have to learn to deal with people who have different priorities and different majors. So whereas we might look at something from an engineering side of things and say, oh, this would be really cool, from a business side of things, it just doesn't work. And so we have the business major in our group, and he'll just be like, hey, we can't do that. And so it's cool to kind of work and say, okay, not give up on that, but instead like figure out how to iterate that and how to make that work together. So that's been, I think, a crucial skill, and that's what the real world is like, where you aren't surrounded with people like who are just your major. And so that's been very beneficial to us. And then also we have weekly presentations and progress reports that we have to give to people. And so just like the communication, being able to work hard, but then communicate what we've been working on and how we've been doing is, I think, a crucial skill as well.
Good. Do you have any advice for students that are watching right now and thinking about pursuing engineering?
Yeah, definitely. I would say classes like this are what have changed engineering for me, because instead of, you have to have the basis, so a lot of the math and the science and stuff that may not be as exciting of a class, but then you learn and you get to the point right here where you're free to apply all that to real world things. And so we've used concepts that we've learned and been able to put it into our project in something that is a real world product. And so I would say, like, if you go around and you get excited about all these different things, like I said, I've been walking around and just seeing all these different people and saying like, hey, I love like what they're doing and love telling them what I'm doing. And so if you get excited about just seeing just the different things that are happening, then pursuing engineering can be an excellent like way to be involved with that.
Yes.
But even from the other side of things, we have our business major on our team as well, which is a cool different aspect. And he's not as it didn't have that same drive towards the engineering side of things, but he brings a crucial element to our team from the business side as well.
Great. Do you have any additional final information you'd like to add about your experience with your project or at the showcase?
Yeah, it's been great. We weren't sure if we were going to do it, if we were going to present at the showcase, because it was a little bit intimidating. It's, maybe we don't, because it is a project and we aren't finished with it. And so it's been cool to basically be encouraged to go for it and just do it and then be able to present. And like I said, we've learned so much through the experience that I think that alone has made it worth it.
Well, thank you for your time for this interview and enjoy the rest of the showcase.
Thank you.
Hi, I have some more students with me. Please tell us your name, major, and year.
I'm Wes Hawthorne. I'm an aerospace engineer, and I'm a freshman.
And I'm Daniel Collison. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I'm also a freshman.
Great. Tell us about your project.
Well, the challenge we were given in our freshman engineering design class was to create an autonomous robot that could be deployed in an area where you might have a natural disaster and there's lots of materials laying around that need to be recycled. And this robot can follow a black line, and it would just run around autonomously. And whenever it would get to a bin, it would be able to sense that it reached a recycling bin, lift that bin up, and weigh it. Depending on the weight, it would know whether it was organic, ceramic, or metal. Then it would turn around the other way and return the bin to the correct recycling facility, depending on whether it was organic, ceramic, or metal. And so this was our prototype that we designed to do this.
Very cool. Are you excited to be displaying your project at the showcase with your engineering peers?
Yes, ma'am. I'm really excited, especially as a freshman. This is actually the first time we've ever worked with anything like this, and just really excited.
Good. What type of skills did you learn in the project that you consider of value to your engineering career?
Definitely teamwork. There's 4 of us to a team, and design challenge, that was also a big key. And What else? I don't
Trial
know.
and error,
Trial and
really.
error. That was a big one.
This
This is
was
probably the
prob-
10th robot.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The 10th robot that we've made.
We had all semester to work on it, and we built several of them that did not work at all. We built a couple
Gosh,
that
they
literally
were so bad.
self-destructed. They would try to move forward, and pieces
Gears
would just fly off.
fly off everywhere. It was so bad.
But trial and error, that was a big lesson we learned. Just getting in there, making a prototype, finding out whether it works or not, and then just moving on when you need to.
And what, especially about teamwork, what did you learn specifically?
Well, we realized that stuff happens, life gets in the way, so not everyone can meet up as a team at the same time. And we also learned how to shift responsibilities. Like one time, he and I would work on the robot, and the other guys would work on the code. And then once we get tired, we would switch. And then he and I would work on the code, and then they would work on the robot. And that actually worked out because we would find errors in the code, and they would find out errors that we did working on the robot.
Everyone has their own skill, and so you learn to play to each person's skill so they can
Exactly.
contribute the most to the project.
Awesome. Do you have any advice for students thinking about pursuing engineering and watching right now?
Just hang in there.
I mean, absolutely go
Hang in
for
there.
it. It's the technology we have today is so great. Just earlier, we were talking to some guys that were old ags that had graduated, and they were just talking about how back in their day, everything was theoretical,
Yeah.
and they're talking about all the great hands-on stuff we have now. And it's just a great field to go into. It's where all the big advancements are made, and you couldn't choose anything better than engineering right
And
now.
actually, we were sitting right there, and then a man from some company said, "Hey, you really should have brought resumes," and we didn't even think about that. So that was pretty cool.
So I mean, there's nowhere better for me right now than engineering, and so if
Exactly.
anyone's even thinking about it, definitely look into it, stick in there. I mean, freshman year is tough, but
Freshman year is tough.
it's definitely worth it.
Great. Do you have any final information you'd like to add, either of you?
No, I think we pretty much said everything.
Great. Well, enjoy the rest of the showcase.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for taking time for the interview.
Absolutely.
very
Thanks for
much.
having us.
Thank you.